Dan, people really like us talking about Gamergate too.
I don't like talking about it anymore. So
Ryan from Des Moines, Iowa. I know. Ryan from Des Moines, Iowa. Howdy, gents. Love the podcast. You guys have been pretty good at talking about and giving your takes on Gamergate too. What do you all think about the massive win this week against ALYSSA MERCANTE and Nick Calandria regarding the takedown of Smash JT's website? Really put those two in their place finally. Also, do you think there's even remotely a possibility that Mercante has any legal case against Smash, or is she just blowing smoke? So are you up to date on what's happened this last week?
I read about it.
I'll run it down. So and again, we've talked about it before. I think that guy pokes the bear too much.
He goes for it.
He went too hard.
The thing about this one is I don't know if it's too hard, but it's the right button to push. He hit
the right button, and technically what he's doing, he's not doing anything wrong.
It's all public record.
So what he did was he took part of his website. He keeps calling website. It's part of his website, which he labeled Kotaku Detected.
Right.
And he took public pictures of all of the characters of Gamergate 2, including people that work for Kotaku and people that he says are friends of Kotaku. These are people that, like, Nick Calandria doesn't work for Kotaku. Right. He's somebody else. But he has them up there, and he has links to his videos, but links to, and that's the other important point to point. He's not posting any information. He's even have their email addresses, which, like, you can go on Kotaku's website and look at their directory and email. There's a fucking phone number for one of them. I don't know if you know.
No, I didn't know that. That's bad.
That's insane.
That's a bad idea.
They need to take that down.
Yes.
Like, that's really fucking bad. But anyways, so he posted this, he had all this up, and of course ALYSSA MERCANTE, she turned it into, well, this is a hit list, even though she had put out her own spreadsheet list of YouTubers that are making videos about her, and then she quickly took it down because then she made the comment after about this being a hit list. It's like, you can't say that when you just said that. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, but what happened is, over last weekend was a holiday weekend. Nick Calandra, if you don't know who that is, he is somebody that works for Second Wind. So he started Second Wind with some other people. He used to work for The Escapist. He was fired from there, and he started this Second Wind. I don't know anything about Second Wind. I've never watched any of their content. I don't care. But this guy seems like a huge piece of garbage. And there's a couple points that I'll point out with that is, he has pushed really, really hard in his private Discord over last weekend. He took his Twitter down, privated it. That's what these people do all the time. But he privated it, and then he staged an attack on this guy's website through Wix, because it's hosted by Wix,
right,
to take it down for targeted harassment. And they did over the holiday weekend because it was a holiday weekend. Nobody was there at their offices. So they got a ton of influx of, hey, something's going on this website. What would any company do at that point when nobody's there? Yeah, we should probably take it down and investigate it on the next business day.
Right.
And that's what happened. So they, of course, jumped the gun, him and Mercante, and they did this huge thing. Hey, look how great we are. We took this down. They actually tried to portray this as that guy went and spoke with somebody at Wix and talked to them about how it's targeted harassment. They took it down. That never happened.
Nope.
He just used his followers to get it taken down. That's what really happened. Anyways, it was down for less than 24 hours. That guy made kind of a sad video. He's put down. Obviously put down. He's put a lot of time into his website, whatever. Was back up within 24 hours. And now all of a sudden, you know, it's well, we don't really care about that anymore. No, you do. You took a massive loss here on that.
Well, she said something to the effect where it's like, I'm glad it's back up. It's a win for me.
Because it quote unquote helps her lawsuit, which again, I keep questioning, like, what is there?
I don't think there's a lawsuit. Like, there's
no lawsuit. She keeps talking about how she's talking all this legal representation. Nobody's going to take this case because there's no case. She's just blowing smoke. I agree with the guy. She's blowing smoke on that. The other element of this that I'll put in there that I think is incredibly shitty, and that's why I call this Nick Calandria guy a piece of garbage, is he actually reached out to Smash JT under the guise of being a cool guy and going, well, can you take me off of the site because I don't want any targeted harassment? And he actually agreed to do that. And then he started pushing, well, I really need you to take down the entire website. And the whole veil kind of slipped. And then obviously all this stuff came out because somebody leaked all the Discord shit.
Right.
So you can go publicly read what they did to try and get this website taken out. It's just ridiculous. I want it to end, obviously. I would love to see Kotaku, as we've said many times, I'd love to see Kotaku be shuttered and it's over.
It just needs to be done because it's not a games journalism blog of any kind.
It's not. Do you know what they did the other day? I don't know if we talked about this. I don't know if I sent this to you. And not to get political or anything, but they posted the Trump thing that he got, the 34. What does that have to do with video games?
Then they need to rebrand what their site actually is.
That's my point. I saw this has nothing to do with anything video game related. Why do I fucking care about this?
All over the place, all over the internet, on every major news site, on any credible news site. It already exists. I don't need it on Kotaku, where you're supposed to be writing game guides at this point, right? Was that the job
I think what happened is that was the case, and I think
just blew up.
I think Mercante. I think what happened is she said, "Let me keep antagonizing these people because at the end of the day, what happens? Clicks. The people that look at this go, hey, I'll go to the website. Why are these people mad?
Clicks.
I'll just go to Kotaku.com. Click, click, click. SEO money. That's what's happening. That's why they're letting her. But I also think at some point, as far as this other guy goes, I think what happened is when during the privated part, I think the people that also work at Second Wind took him aside and said, you need to fucking stop because this is getting out of hand and you're going to start actively hurting our brand we've created.
Right.
Because Second Wind is only 6 months old. They bring in $55,000 a month through their Patreon alone. And it's not just that guy. It's a couple people. Can you imagine in that case, if you and I had a company and I was off on the side getting into all these arguments on Twitter?
I would tell you to knock it the fuck off.
Exactly. Do you not think that there was a meeting where these other people were like, hey, come into this room for a minute. Fucking stop it. You're going to ruin our company or we're going to have to get you out of here. So, and I think that's what happened because now he's come up, he goes, he tried to play it off as the guise of, well, I've removed Twitter from my phone and I don't look at Twitter during, outside of work hours anymore and blah, blah. No, I think they told him that's what he has to do. I don't think that was his decision. I think the other people that work there said, hey, you have to do this because you are out of control. And this is ridiculous. This isn't how normal people fucking operate in the world. So as far as the Mercante thing goes, I mean, eventually Kotaku's going to implode. That lady will end up at some other fucking website. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up outside of the games industry somewhere else. Working at is Jezebel still a thing?
I thought that one closed.
Can she go there?
Didn't that one close?
Did that one close?
I don't know.
But
I try not to follow them.
I want it to end. I want Gamergate to end Gamergate 2 to end so bad because it's so tiring.
Both sides just keep pressing it.
Mm-hmm.
Every action has a reaction and everything is a fight and everything's an argument and it's like everything's, and the worst part is it's all just opinions about different shit.
It is.
You don't like these games that have Sweet Baby involvement in them? Don't play them. Problem is solved. But there's also a world where it should be transparent if they worked on a video game. It's all the fact that it's all a secret. We have to hide all these consulting groups and what they actually do.
Yeah,
and what they did on games. Why is it such a secret? Because there is a controversy. But there's a controversy because you hide. It's all just pushing back on each other, and it's driving me
100%
fucking crazy. I could give
100% agree.
two shits. And Sweet Baby worked on Spider-Man. I can tell you exactly what they did in Spider-Man. I don't.
So can I.
I do not care.
I don't care either. I don't think it affected that game. It didn't hinder my enjoyment of Spider-Man 2. There are other things that hindered my enjoyment of Spider-Man 2, but not anything that they were involved in bothered me in that game.
But I still think it's a reasonable expectation to know, for them to be transparent about, yes, we did work on that game. Yes, we did design these 2 or 3 missions, and we were brought in by Insomniac to do this. People act like they just showed up at Insomniac and knocked on the door and were like, hey, by the way, we think we should have some minorities in here. No.
Give us some money.
Yeah. No. Insomniac reached out to them, or Sony did, or whoever makes that decision, decided to bring in a company that they probably had worked with before on some other project, and thought, hey, can you read over the script and just tell us what we might be missing? And then they had meetings and discussions and all that stuff, and it ended up in the game.
And I think that's a lot of what it is with a lot of different games. There's nothing wrong with that. So I don't think there's. As I said before, there being DEI companies is not the major problem in terms of that. That's always going to exist. there is a reason why those companies exist. The problem is when it gets too out of control. So, and if you look at Spider-Man's a great example of looking and go, yeah, I can, from playing through that game, I know exactly what they worked on.
Right.
But it didn't hinder my enjoyment of the game. It wasn't in my face.
Not at all.
They didn't force me to do anything that I was like, oh, I really didn't like that part of this game.
But then,
if anything, the one mission that you and I both know that they did do was one of the better missions in the game.
It was fine.
So
nothing wrong with it.
So it made you connect more with that character.
Right.
So,
but the thing is too, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where this all starts because some guy makes a list on Steam that says they worked on these games. I don't recommend these games. So one guy on Steam had an opinion, and then they decided to go fucking crazy on it, which made his opinion list blow up, which made this blow up, which made Smash JT get in on it, which made her go nuts on Twitter, which made the other person follow, and then it's just like, just stop, dude.
Yeah.
Now she wants her whole career to be writing about how people are attacking her now. Does she do anything else?
The other thing I point out too is like, if you ever go down the rabbit hole of like looking at who likes her tweets or who responds to them, it's like the same 3 fucking people.
Yeah.
It's never a large group. And they always act like, oh, we're huge part of this community. There's this huge community of these people. It's like they need to understand, like, the general population of this country doesn't fucking care about this at all.
Nope.
So
most gamers don't care about this.
Most gamers don't care about it. And as you've seen before, that when it comes to a situation where maybe one of those companies did do a little too much in a game, case in point, Suicide Squad, what happens?
Right.
Nobody buys the game.
Right.
And it fails. $200 million loss. That's insane.
Well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that kills companies, kills studios.
Exactly.
Kills everything. Yeah. And part of it is
so,
because you're not honest about it at the start. And then
you never were on that game.
And then you just play defense the whole time. And you say, well, if you don't like it, then it's your fault. No, sometimes creators make bad things that people don't like. That happens all the time.
Would Forspoken be a case of that?
Forspoken is a collection of people who made one giant bad thing, and everybody, like a lot of people, we talk about that. So you got like absorbed in our thing. People lost their jobs because they made a bunch of big mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's my fault that I don't like Forspoken. Is that what it is? Do I not like Forspoken because the main character is a minority? No, I don't like it because it's a shitty game.
It's a terrible fucking
bad
game.
Ideas, bad writing, bad plot. It has nothing to do with the character. She would be fine in anything else if she wasn't dropping F-bombs every other word and then crying about killing someone. The tone of the game doesn't work.
Exactly. And I think that's the other part of it too, especially with these DEI companies is and I think that's a lot of the argument you see come up during Gamergate too, is like, we want these characters to feel more organic. And when you bring in a company that goes, okay, what's the defining characteristic of this character? It's their race. Okay, that's not that shouldn't be the defining characteristic.
Sexuality.
Or their sexuality.
Right.
That's not a defining characteristic of that character. But when you take that character and you make it the only thing they're about, that's when you see pushback, because that's not interesting. That's not an interesting story.
Or the argument about you're writing a character that represents you.
That's the other one that I hate, that I see all the time. It's like, I don't play games to see myself in the character because that's not interesting to me.
But if you're writing this character to represent you, does that mean you're incapable of writing any other character?
Right?
You can't. I can only ever write a character that's a white man. That's limiting in terms of people who that's not even my job. I wouldn't tell you that I could write from anybody else's perspective. I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I haven't studied writing and creative writing and what it means to do all this stuff. But these people get jobs in these industries to write themselves into the game, and then get upset when nobody likes that person because it means you don't like them. No, I just don't like your shitty writing.
It's not a fleshed out character at that point. It's just that one thing that defines the character
for yourself and not for everyone. They keep preaching it's for everybody. It's for everybody to be included. as long as it's the people that we decided should be included.
It boils down to the situation where it is a vocal minority of people that act like they are the majority of people, but they're not, because they have the loudest voice in the room.
But they're all the victims.
They are all, they play the victim card all the time. Look at ALYSSA MERCANTE. It's the number one thing she does. She plays the victim card. She blocks somebody on Twitter because she didn't like their opinion on something. And then she'll pull the wall down to throw a jab at them and put the wall back up because she can't take the heat coming back at her.
But it's not even just them. IGN does it all the time too.
IGN does it all the time because they have their stupid articles that come out, like the Resident Evil one we talked about a couple weeks ago.
You can read a title of an article on that page and know that the comments are turned off.
Oh, absolutely. The Resident Evil article is the number one.
Because they cannot take anyone disagreeing with their opinion, especially when it's a hot take opinion.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have hot takes. We all are. We all have hot takes.
Are we going to get to a point in society where we can all only like one sports team?
Yes.
For each sport? Do you think it's going to get that bad?
We're only allowed to like one sport. And
okay.
It's a sport where every gender and every race can all play equally.
Okay.
That's all that's left.
Pickleball? Is that what you said?
Yeah, pickleball is probably the last sport, if you think about it. It's like ping pong, but you stand on the table.
There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, I want Gamergate 2 to end. I'm tired of it.
It's not going to.
Very tired of it.